sense of unity or self, and then your family and the way you interact with your surroundings, your community, or at every scale, becomes very important to that to that sense of self and that you end up developing, and eventually what you call your identity.
Being raised to be more American, more than Filipino at times, what it is like, as Americans, we have to celebrate individuality almost to the T, where individuality is more appreciated in being the community. And sometimes parents recognize that and they will push you to be more individual than the community. But later on, like growing up, for me personally, it's trying to connect that back and learning, oh, I need to this interdependence with my own culture, or there's interdependence not even mine, but everyone else around me.
When she said she's going to marry a white American, the thing was not about, for us, it was okay as parents that he should be a nice man and all that, but the image that we have to give the community that she is going to marry outside our community, that was hurting me more than, I should say, who she's marrying. That's what I relate with what Asha said about the image that we give so much importance to. I do now realize it, but then it was difficult for me.
I'm the result of that marriage. So being biracial especially affected me in school because at home it didn't matter if I was Indian or white, but at school I had to be either one or the other, so I'd end up switching like my identity depending on who I was hanging out with, and I got certain privileges that the other Indian kids didn't get in terms of who I was hanging out with and social groups I could move in, but at the same time I couldn't be white enough to get the same level as all the other white kids. And then one of my dad's favorite questions to ask me is whether I feel more Indian or more American, and then he wants to ask everyone around me, do I look more Indian or American? So it's very binary and black and white to him. But I feel like one of the things that we were talking about, have you ever felt like you had to fit a mold? I've always felt like I had to be either one or the other. So it's hard being a mixed race person and not really being fully part of either community, which is I think something that a lot of biracial kids struggle with.
I'm not connected hugely to the Indian community, but I feel Indian. To me, and I was telling Asha this as well. I feel like I'm asked a lot or commented on a lot that I'm not Indian enough, because I don't eat Indian food all the time. I eat very spicy food, or I don't like wearing saris all the time, whatever it is. But I feel like I came with that identity already set. So it's fine for me to be who I want to be, but there's a piece of me that wants them to be more Indian as they've grown up. I don't want them to lose that piece. And at the same time, given all the struggles that middle school and high school puts on them, I don't feel like telling them what to do. So for me, that's an internal struggle. I want them to know what I know as an Indian, which is impossible, but I do want that. I want them to know all the kinds of food that I don't eat, but I still know about, and everything else. But I also feel like I don't really understand their experience. I'm getting better at it. This is my second child. But all the things that my older one went through, I felt that, well, you should be able to sit with the Indians. It'll be fine. You'll be okay with these people. But I really didn't understand the daily, the actual, the life that they led. Because I didn't walk into that school every day and feel what they felt. So we try, we try. We're still working on that.
Oh, and also growing up, because I was from Mexico, but I wasn't living there, I always felt like I'm in the wrong place. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, why are we even here if we're not going to have this sense of freedom of self? And so now I took this whole trip to Mexico just because of that. And coming back now, I understood, like, we're a unique community of people that traverse, that keep moving, and, that initial, like, I guess, migration a lot of times is for hope or for a better life.
So two things came up for me. One was this idea of shared history of struggle and how that brings solidarity amongst people who have been colonized from different colonizers. So this idea that brings is because of the shared history of struggle, maybe that will bring us together in terms of like value systems and what we could fight against. And so that's what I was thinking about. The other thing I was thinking about was like why I'm challenging even this. My own question is, why are we continuing to identify ourselves with a nation state? What is the attraction as well as affinity to say I am this nation state, but I'm not an ambassador of that state or of that nation state. So what is beyond that? So then there's solidarity amongst people, but still recognizing and honoring our past and what we've gone through as people and culturally, but yet there's something beyond that nation state, because that has a political context, and there's like probably a lot of stuff behind that as well, of course. But I'm challenging that question for myself as well as others, and also like how do we build solidarity amongst people without siloing the identities of like nation states. I know I'm kind of playing